Hi there. I am Jay Trey.
I'm A Trey.
And today, Trey, we are going to be doing a little something different than what we normally have been doing. We are going to be doing a review of Freddy vs. Jason. And in our update video, I did say it's kind of just based on the theory that, sometimes when you are a person such as us that appreciates good quality in film and television, that sometimes you just need a palate cleanser. And that's what this is. So yeah, what did you, because I think I kind of had to, at least a little bit, I kind of had to sell you on this one, because it's a little different than the other stuff we've done.
And I'm a big horror fan, never been a big Freddy fan, never been a big Jason fan.
Nope.
I'm not a big fan of the old school
slasher.
Yeah, it's
genre.
just not my bag. And I had seen it a long time ago and remember it being really, really terrible, really tacky.
Yeah.
Kelly Rowland, for some reason, who is a very different part of my childhood.
We are going to be doing next, and I feel a little bad because I didn't actually talk to you about this before we started shooting, but fuck it. So here's the thing. We have talked about the fact that we would like to do a combination of the God's Not Dead movies for our next video. Yes, the last two, because honestly, you guys, God's Not Dead, it just drained us of all of our
We're not
hope
gonna
in
do
life.
that to you.
We're not gonna drag it out any longer than it has to be. So we're gonna do a 2-for-1 on G's Not D. And I was gonna say the one thing we hadn't discussed about it that I would like to do, and I would like to know your opinion on this. I think we should do a crunk review on it because honestly, I think that's the only way we're gonna get through it.
I just assumed that was a given.
Okay, so we're gonna do a crunk review.
A much bigger surprise here.
No. We're gonna be doing a crunk review of the God's Not Dead series next.
I can get into that.
So yeah, that's what we got going on next. But without any further ado, without any more pomp, we would like to present something we are going to call a Spooky Boi review. Do you have... Oh, shit. That's in the blooper reel. Sharpening my knives.
Well, I'm sorry, the burning doll. Really? Little on the nose, don't you think?
They're starting off with Freddy's origin of being a pedo.
Oh, really?
Takes the little girl's picture that he just killed, her school photo, and just goes.
And that's how he adheres it to his little pervert murder book. Okay.
These are some clips from the older Nightmare on Elm Street films. How many of those have you seen? Giant Dead.
Oh, I feel like I've seen. I don't know. I've seen them in bits and pieces because
they're not great. The thing about Freddy Krueger, though, is every single line he has is terrible fucking pun followed by bitch at the end. That's his entire shtick.
I was getting ready to say they've made us wait way too long for tits. Fake tits. Blatantly
we're
fake tits.
We're a whole, minute and a half in this movie, already huge tits on the screen. It's the most, suspect looking pier ever, too.
There's a thick fog.
Guess they'll just go get naked and jump. So she's like, this is what really pissed me off about this thing, because she says something in a minute here.
Come on, it's not funny anymore.
What? You just jumping into a lake isn't funny anymore? No one answered you the first time, dumbass. You don't think things make noises in the woods other than people?
I do not get the point of going to a creepy, leechy lake to bang. I've never gotten that.
Let me go jump in a cold lake. This is gonna be hot.
I was gonna say.
She presumably sees Jason in this shot. They don't show him, but she presumably sees him. And then she goes running and sees him again!
She thinks she's being pursued by a killer, possible rapist, for all she knows. I'll make it a point to slow down enough to button up a couple buttons, not the titty buttons. Oh, he's got mommy issues.
His mom is always bordering on like psychosis and motherhood in her speech. It always goes back and forth. You're my special boy who fucking kills people.
Bring me blood.
I've been away from my children for long.
You're not scary, Freddy. I'm sorry, man.
I don't care. I don't want a dude with his face talking about he's been away from children for far too long.
Now here's the thing we noticed about this movie. And we don't know we really don't know how self-aware the filmmakers were that everything that they do in this movie is a complete cliche, is a complete rip-off, as Ungo Glogin would say, derivative. It's ridiculous.
I don't know. The recipe for a teen slasher is it's so bland and
Played
so
out.
easy, and literally anybody can do it. Not many people can do it well.
First cliche, having like people in their early 30s playing high school seniors. You know, that's never a good start. Late 20s, early 30s maybe. But I'm sorry, no.
Kelly Rowland is not an independent woman in this film.
This is right before the chick takes two puffs off of her cigarette and then immediately hucks it out into the rain into Jason's face.
And drinks
She's like,
half
I need to
beer.
have a cigarette. I need to have 2 tokes off a cigarette and then throw it out the window.
Oh, here's the douchebag boyfriend.
You came in for a kiss for her, you dipshit! He goes to his girlfriend, he goes, and sticks his tongue down her throat, and then goes, what'd I tell you about kissing me after you smoke? I don't know, maybe don't fucking immediately stick your tongue down your girlfriend's throat while your friend's waiting for you to enter a house.
Good job physically assaulting her twice by the time you make it in the door. The girl on the right, she's like kind of the little
She's the
goody
virgin.
two-shoes.
She's literally, they talk about how she's the virgin in this.
I'm sick of characters in these movies being so pathetic that Kelly Rowland looks cool next to him. Or someone of Kelly Rowland caliber.
I'm sorry, no high school senior looks like that. I'm sorry, that's just not.
No.
That's not how biology works, man. I don't care how many hormones they're putting in the milk. That's not how that shit works.
If you're 22, maybe you can get away with playing a high school.
Yeah. We have these 3 friends. I forget their names. The blonde virgin, Kelly Rowland. That's
Which
the
I
character.
believe is her name in the film.
Yeah. TBV, they call her. And then their friend, I forget her name, but I've seen her in other stuff, who's the dark-haired chick that is like the more laid back of the friends. That's her entire character.
She's
you know
the
what?
Party girl.
No. Her entire character in this movie is that she sleeps with her boyfriend and wears a hat. That's it. She wears a ball cap. I'm assuming it's like her boyfriend's team or some shit. And that's
She
it.
adds a lot to this movie.
So those are the 3 main sort of characters. And then there's the girl with the hat's boyfriend, and then this creepy dude who's hitting on the blonde virgin.
We watched this not that long ago. I literally can't remember how many people there are. I don't remember anybody's name.
No. Lori. Lori is the blonde virgin. There you
Okay.
go.
This is the lamest little high school get together I've ever
I
seen.
know,
by
like,
the way.
what is the point? They're not even, like, sitting around
I
watching
think
a
that
movie or anything.
the
They're
hat
just, like...
went to go have sex with her boyfriend.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Oh, yeah, that's what they're doing.
Clearly the only reason she's with him is for his dick. This chick was, like, cuddling up to him, like, hey, thanks for the dick. And he's like... he's like, babe. And, like, it throws her arm off him. He's like, you know I don't like to be touched afterwards. I'm sorry.
I'm honestly surprised he didn't just say, go make me a sandwich.
Oh, another 5 minutes into the movie. We
I
need
was going to
tits.
say another reason to get her tits out. Are those some... Oh, those are different tits.
Oh, yeah, those are definitely...
By the way, all high school girls have huge fake tits.
Apparently, including blonde virgins.
At this super weird high school.
Especially blonde virgins.
Not Kelly Rowland.
No. So the douche is getting knifed,
Stabbed through the mattress.
macheted, if you will. Jason then, as he's like, the boyfriend's laying belly down on the bed, and Jason takes the bed and folds it in half like a pizza. And,
But in true bro form, after he had stabbed him a bunch of times with a machete, the bro still has the beer in his hand. It's shaking, but he's still got a hold of it.
I don't want to spill it.
So he's not a gymnast. We know this now.
So now he's folded up as a dead pretzel.
So everybody runs screaming bloody murder out into the yard as you would if a murder had just been committed in your home.
Freddy's trying to use Jason to get people to remember him, because this town to combat Freddy killing people in their dreams, has put forth a campaign to forget him so that people don't.
Yeah, if you forget him, you can't dream about him, so he can't hurt you.
Exactly. So this house where these kids are hanging out, where the blonde virgin lives, Lori, where she lives, is the house from the original Nightmare on Elm Street, essentially. So they're like, we need to make sure people don't get suspicious about the guy with the knives on his hands coming back, basically.
They're also monitoring to make sure he doesn't like start a YouTube channel or something.
And the new guy in town,
Reel people in.
Yeah. A new Instagram
Hey
account.
guys.
The new cop in town has some frosted tips, so you know he's not from that city, the small town.
He's a bad boy. The blonde virgin who ran screaming from the house like everyone did into the rain, her hair is now wet, but it's styled perfectly, and her makeup is flawless.
On point, yeah. I'm sorry, I have to say it. There are some people you can tell in movies that were hired specifically so they could run and people could watch their tits bounce. That's what producers are thinking when they say...
Especially in this kind of movie.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it's fucking ridiculous. Oh my god, there's something chasing after me. Let me fucking run as fast as I can.
I'm gonna make sure to get half naked or fully naked first.
I need to be boxing myself with my tits
I need the
running.
freedom to run as fast as I can.
I believe this is supposed to be a hallucination or a dream, if you will, of the little girl from the opening of the movie who got killed by Freddy, and her eyes are torn out. But again, it's this really shitty special effect, and I feel like there's something else you could have done creepier that would have been more practical. And it's almost a joke on a joke, because it's like they're using cliches from their own film series that, like, okay, do something a little bit different.
Okay, now we got the children in the corn. Jump roping
while
singing the
1, 2, Freddy's coming for you, and then there's a Freddy jump scare. Which honestly, if we're talking about Friday the 13th and Freddy Krueger, is mostly what the fear comes from, is the jump scares.
Uh-oh. We're getting a scolding.
The douchebag with the rings is...
I can't take this guy seriously either. These like 17-year-old dudes that get so...
His dad kind of looks like...
testosterone
Wait, I gotta go
doesn't know
back.
which way to go.
I gotta go back. Doesn't his dad kind of look like... Wait, doesn't his dad kind of look like Alex Jones? Oh, that's great.
Well, then it would make sense that his 17-year-old was full of unnecessary rage.
I love what he says here to him, because he's drinking out of a flask.
That's the other thing I love. There's, I think, at least 2 high school age students in this film with flasks. You do not carry around a flask as a high schooler. I don't give a shit who you are. You bring it vodka into a water bottle to school like a normal
He's like preppy 17-year-olds that are all fucking alcoholics. Yeah, okay. And I love this part. I'm about to play it, but he's sitting there. He's like, I think the douchey boyfriend who got killed, I think his name was Trey. And he goes, but get him for you, Trey. Fucking find him, I'll fucking kill him. I swear fucking God. Like, it's this...
Like, oh, I'm gonna make sure to exact revenge on my asshole best friend who was literally a
real
huge
piece of shit
the entire time you see him.
Freddy's so dramatic.
Where did you get that
Not
sweater?
strong enough. Oh,
I want to
God.
know where he gets his threads. It's a nice sweater.
The guy wakes up when he realizes Freddy isn't real or whatever. And his dad's sitting next to him, sort of staring off with a face like this. And
Dad?
he goes, Dad, and he shakes him. Now, here's the thing. His dad's head has been severed. And in movies, like, especially, like, remember in the movie Hereditary, which came out last year, there's a shot, it's brilliant, actually, where a little girl who has been decapitated earlier in the film is seen to be in, like, a dark corner of someone's room, sort of walking towards them, and then she sort of, like, is about to speak, but then her head falls off, and it's this very unsettling thud sound, and then, it, like, as it rolls forward, you see it's not a head, it's something else. The way that it fell and made that thud, it's just, ooh, it just makes you feel gross. This is ridiculous. So he goes, Dad, and he shakes his shoulder, and again, he could have fallen off, but no, his dad's head, like it's on a projectile spring
action,
falls off,
and
like Kill Bill amounts of blood spurt out of his body, and he's like, oh fuck, and then Jason kills the
I
kid.
did not see that coming.
So now we're at Weston Hills Psychiatric Hospital, where 2 young men who were not in any of the other Nightmare on Elm Streets, but they're just characters that have supposed to have been victims of Freddy in the sense that they saw him in their dreams or something. They're giving them pills that make them not dream, but they're putting them in this facility and calling them crazy so that they don't disrupt their plan, essentially, and tell everyone about Freddy Krueger. These two guys in the psychiatric facility, one of them is the ex-boyfriend of Lori, the blonde virgin, and he is in there, he thinks, because he saw Lori's dad kill her mom. And the other guy, I believe, who's his friend, his...
tweaky little rodent looking...
his brother had some kind of experience with Freddy Krueger, and that's why he knows about him, essentially.
He's trying to create a distraction.
No, he's trying to get his keys, I believe, so they can get out, so they can escape. So now, it's the most... By the way, the drug that these guys are taking is the most, like clearly the people who wrote this movie...
What is it called, like Forget-a-Sol or something stupid?
It is called, and you can see it right there, it's called Hypnosil. And Lori's dad, who, again, is trying to forget about Freddy Krueger and not try to make sure...
milligrams of Dream No Mo.
Trying to make sure she doesn't have any... Has lied to her about how the wife died because they can't explain Freddy Krueger killing her mom kind of thing. And now he's trying to drug her with this Hypnosil stuff.
And
so
definitely
she won't
have the bottle, like, sitting 6 feet away from her.
From her orange juice glass.
While you open it, pour some...
And clink
like,
around the
capsules.
fucking spoon in her glass.
Everybody stirs their orange juice before they drink it.
Duh.
Don't worry, honey, I'm making your juice.
Ting, 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 ting. This looks like a mistress and a fucking senator or something. And this doesn't look like a father and daughter.
She's even hanging out in like a mom-looking bathrobe.
She keeps seeing Freddy Krueger in her dreams. That's why she doesn't want to sleep. But she's gonna go. It's the next day, so she's going to school after this douchey guy's been murdered. But the dad's like, "You shouldn't do it."
And finish your juice.
Finish your goddamn juice. Sheriff's just hanging out. Oh, I guess that would make sense. This is the crime scene after all.
Yeah. Sheriff's just hanging out.
He just pops around for visits.
Heard you were making breakfast. Alright, so we're back at school after this tragedy of this super big asshole getting killed in hilarious fashion.
Why is her technique to look scared just to kind of slowly bounce up and down? It's supposed to be her breathing heavy.
She's heaving her tits.
Yeah, she's literally going, "What?
This is terrifying." Alright, now since the first loser died right away, they had to introduce another loser.
The nerd. The guy.
I just said another loser.
Here are the party guys at high school. The, Bluto from Animal House character and the stoner guy.
But I feel like these two stereotypes I don't often see together. The fat guy is the guy who, he looks like he belongs with the jocks. Like he's just the fat, popular guy. There's
He's
always
the
one.
funny fat guy.
He's the funny fat guy.
Yeah. So now TBV, aka Lori, is expositing her dreams and is having a nervous breakdown in front of a bunch of people who are now gathering to watch.
The dudes have busted out of the nut house.
Now they're in high school because the guy's checking on his ex.
I can tell how dramatic they wanted to make that line. The way the music was.
Coffee.
Make friends with it.
Well, that's a recurring thing in the movies. Like, the
Don't go to sleep.
main character in the original Nightmare on Elm Street, just slams coffee and caffeine in general. Now Kelly Rowland's about to have her own Freddy moment.
Reading a magazine about how fat she is.
So Freddy, in her dream, slashes her nose off her face.
Got your nose.
So the twitchy guy's older brother, who's played by the actor that played Scott Farkas in A Christmas Story, has this
yellow.
He has a really creepy old school van that has the douchiest, person riding a Pegasus with a sword painted on the side or whatever, and neon lights and shag carpet and walls and shit. It's like, what are you, the
biggest
fucking
pussy magnet on
the
four wheels.
fucking Scooby Gang rolling around looking for Freddy Krueger?
Yeah, maybe you're not dead because you've been taking the medication. I understand you don't want to be in the nut house, and it's wrong that you're there, but you haven't been seeing them and you haven't been seeing them because you haven't been having dreams. Because they've been giving you this medicine.
Maybe it's the one drug they've been giving us for the past 3 years. That's why we don't.
What the fuck makes you think you're just gonna be able to defeat him?
Well, here's the thing.
You know he comes after you in your dreams. Oh, is this the redneck hoedown?
No, it's a rave.
The
Going to
redneck
a
rave.
rave.
The rave in the cornfield.
Assuming, of course, you can think, but makeup weighing down your head.
With all of that
The
makeup
six slam.
weighing down your head. Damn.
That line almost turned me on that actor, and I love that dude. He is so cute and so funny, and in this movie, he's just a
I think his name's Christopher Marquette.
Marquette.
Yeah.
Is there someone set up like a DJ booth?
Yeah. And by the way, these people who are all like...
So you can afford the DJ and the DJ booth, but you're out as far as venues go, so a dirty cornfield.
But I like how they all have seen,
What
at least,
the fuck?
they've all seen a person die. They had a weird experience at school. They've all been having dreams about the same guy that their friend has described to them. So what do we do? Let's
What
all just
could
go to
go
a
wrong?
fucking rave
You ever
for
heard of,
no
like-
reason.
I
Other than
don't know,
it's the-
staying in, getting a case and playing Uno or some shit.
Yeah, they're all like their friend wasn't just murdered like 24 hours ago. They're all just like, yeah, fucking
Party
rave.
time! Maybe stay home with your dad and drink some orange juice. I don't know why they try to make her like the main character, because she really is just the helpless little fawn that everyone else works around.
Yeah.
Like, all right, gotta go help this bitch again.
Yeah, it's bad. She's a prop. She's not a character in the movie. But
Them titties, though.
them titties. But it was the glow stick guy watching.
I was gonna say, I
So
want that outfit.
The girl in the hat who had her douchey boyfriend murdered. Her name is Gib, by the way.
No, it's not.
In this movie, her character's name is Gib.
All right, so she sees her zombified
Dead boyfriend.
dead boyfriend, party shaming her. So apparently he's a dick in the afterlife too. That's nice. Come on, babe. She probably wouldn't believe it was him if he.
Well, he's
wasn't a
like, you're
dick.
drinking 24 hours after I was dead? Yeah, some people do that, man.
I was gonna say a lot of people would probably be drinking 24 hours after their significant other died. This one's not even arguably attractive.
No, he's just folded
He's
up.
dead
Yeah.
and folded.
How you gonna get to that dick?
Uh-oh.
She saw a shadow.
Good thing there was no warning whatsoever about you.
Like, you know,
coming
your
here by
dead
yourself.
boyfriend talking to you.
Yeah. Oh, so glow stick guy.
There's a guy covered in glow sticks, looks like Billy Idol, and he sees her passed out, asleep, being haunted by Freddy, and immediately goes,
Well, that's mine.
bingo.
So he just basically just mounts her slowly and starts licking on her. Uh-oh. What happens if you start getting raped in a dream where you're being hunted by... I guess you probably wake up.
Well, she clearly isn't.
She'd be like, oh, no, I'll fall back asleep. I'll fall back asleep. That was way better.
So right as Freddy's about to kill her, blood spurts through her chest because Jason has just stabbed
Put it through the glow stick.
guy and her, and then hucks glow stick guy like he's a discus thrower.
Which would have been more fun if the glow sticks were lit up at the time and all stayed on him. That would have at
know,
least
right?
been a nice
It would have
little
been like
display.
like a firework,
Like a
going
big
off.
bloody firework.
Yeah.
Everclear is kicking my ass.
Okay, so
The funny fat guy is in having a toke off a joint, a Johnny Dakota-sized joint, and says, quote, "This Everclear is kicking my ass."
yes, the high school kids are drinking Everclear. I'm sure that's not a shitty fucking cup of brunettes. I'm sure you're drinking Everclear out of a beer pitcher. So, Jason does a 180 on someone's head.
And then this
Funny fat guy
guy,
brilliantly chucks the
Everclear,
Everclear on him, and
torches him with literally a tiki torch.
I will say I like this. I love when anybody on fire goes to attack anything else. I think that's bad.
Yeah. I hope no one at the party notices
no one
the
is
blazing
noticing
fire.
the giant fire erupting. He is, by the way, burning this thing down at an astounding rate.
This is everyone's favorite part of the movie, because this is when Jason just starts just chopping people down like he's at a...
With a
No.
fiery machete.
Yeah.
You bad motherfucker.
Given zero fucks.
This
So
guy stay steady smoking a joint.
So the nerd, the stoner, Kelly
That better be a
Rowland,
sativa.
Kelly Rowland, TBV, and what did we determine what Jason Ritter's name is in this?
I'm sure it's Bobby.
Billy, Bobby.
Something hometownish with a B.
So they've all escaped in the Twitchy dude's van. And he let him, because they were gonna hit the two dudes from the nut house were gonna take the van and escape the town so they didn't have to deal with Freddy Krueger. And he's like, well, I just want to make sure that my virgin girlfriend's cool. And so the Twitchy friends.
She's been waiting for me this whole time.
Well, I'm sure. The Twitchy friend's back at home, waiting for them to come back, basically, or at least for his friend to come back. But yeah, they're all in this neon van now. Went 5 minutes without having to put the focus on Laurie's tits.
I was gonna say wet tits.
It probably comes across that we're
so
just like pushing the tit thing. No, like seriously, it's like
if there were more interesting things to talk about in this movie, we'd be talking about them right now.
And I feel like it's almost like the director of photography had to be talked down from like zooming in on her tits when she speaks because.
Bill, you can't
stop,
film the entire
stop
scene
doing that,
just
dude.
on her tits. That was an entire 3-minute conversation.
I gotta have a lot of tits in this, all right? It's my process.
Vision, okay? It's my vision. The lightning, lightning does not work like that, by the way, where it's like 90 seconds of nothing but a giant flash.
It's like a strobe light in their house. Oh my god. So wait, before we continue, so they cut back. So Laurie takes off with her ex-boyfriend to go figure out what's going on with Freddy Krueger. And they cut back to the Twitchy friend at his parents' house. I guess they're gone out of town or something. And a little bit on this Twitchy guy, his brother had some experiences with Freddy Krueger. He killed himself. Supposedly, it could have been just implied that he killed himself, even though it might have been a Freddy Krueger thing. But we talked about this when we first watched it. He goes into his bathroom, and obviously he's dreaming, and that could be part of it. But the bathroom they shoot in is the biggest fucking bathroom ever, and the design of it makes no sense because it's
ladies, it's a dream.
Well, because it's like it's mainly just floor space. There's a tub on one end of it, and like
it's a bathroom that doubles as like a breakdancing studio. I would love a bathroom that says you could fit 5 or 6 of our bathrooms in that bathroom.
You could do a fucking
alright, guy.
You could do a fucking relay race in that bathroom. What are you talking about? So he's got some pills, some generic over-the-counter pills called what did it just say? Oh, Wake Aid. Which he just dropped the last one.
He just lost his last Wake Aid down the sink.
Fuck.
Envisioning his brother in a bloody bathtub.
Having committed suicide, you know.
Now he is
being pulled into the blood somehow.
He's like rooted to the floor.
Yeah.
And they're snakes.
For no reason.
Why are there snakes?
What happened was they were like, they had this scene planned out, and then someone was like, hey, my sister's new husband is like a reptile dude. He goes to like kids' birthdays, parties, has like a bunch of snakes. Do you want us to have some snakes in this scene?
Oh my god, get like 20 snakes.
I guess, sure. I mean, if...
One guy's like, I don't get it. Why
snakes?
They have to do with... They're cool. They're
snakes.
Scary.
If we put them in blood, they'll be blood snakes. It'll be awesome,
You're telling me you don't want to be part of a movie with blood snakes?
We might need to change this movie's title from Freddy Vs. Jason to Blood Snakes.
No, it's just Freddy vs. Jason, blood snakes. Oh, and so the Tweaker's a tough guy. Like, he's not gonna
help Freddy in any way.
I'm gonna stand my ground, man. Kill me if you have to. So he just kind of sets him on fire.
Which looks really weird, because he's in his dream, he's sort of like, Freddy uses his like dream telekinesis.
He kind of like Vaders him against the wall.
And then lights him on fire. Like just kind of like, you're on fire now.
But he's asleep in his room at his desk.
And so
his friends are at the window.
He catches fire from back here and then just starts flopping around on fire like this. Like, oh shit, I'm just being torn all over the place.
Which, I'm the kind of friend that if I saw that, my first reaction would be, oh my god. And then immediately after, like, oh my god, look how fucking dumb he looks right now. So all his friends can really do... What did he say?
Help me.
Wake your ass up. So yeah, they're just kind of watching.
From the window, yeah, like, oh no.
For a second, okay, so he's got... Now burned into his back, it says Freddy's back. For a second, I thought it said Daddy's back.
Which again is like...
Which would have been infinitely more hilarious.
Yeah, but This goes to my point earlier that Freddy just makes fucking dad jokes all the time. These bad puns. I get it. Haha. Freddy's back. He's back in town.
Back.
And it's also on the guy's back.
Again.
That's what all of his fucking jokes are like. Sorry.
Okay, this is not working out.
Worked hard on that. So
Yeah.
let's go. Let's keep watching this.
I will not be assaulted by it again. Okay, so Frosted Tip Cop is like...
New guy on the force.
I got a frosty new tip on this.
That's something.
And they're like, settle down, newbie. Like, we got this one covered. But
oh, this
basically
tip is frosty. I watched this again. Like when I first watched this, at least recently. Not first. When I watched this recently, I hadn't seen it in probably 10 years, and that's what struck me was how fucking terrible it was.
It had been probably
Like,
at least 5 years since I'd seen it.
I knew it was a tacky and bad film, but it's really bad. The sheriff in this movie is, and I feel like I've seen the actor and stuff before, and I don't think he's a bad actor, but he plays, again, the most cliched. Why do you need to write this character with absolutely no originality? I was going to say originality, but yes, no personality whatsoever.
He was in White Chicks.
Yes, he was in White Chicks.
Plays one of the detectives.
No. I'm not even talking about Frosted Tips. Frosted Tips cop. I'm talking about the sheriff, the older guy.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the other guy is just like, a paper person. He's not even really there.
Yeah, just
he's Frosted
he's
Tips
there
that
for
has
the tips.
He's Frosted Tips that happen to have lines. The sheriff is the most like sheriffy sheriff of a small town that's ever existed. Because in this scene, you'll hear him. He's like, forget about it, Stubbs. Do you understand? And he's just kind of like, all right. And he's like, do you understand? It's like, all right, calm the fuck down a little bit, dude. You're not.
We've stopped him before.
Jesus Christ.
Don't worry about it. Yeah, and definitely point in real aggressive, like with your giant cigar.
Yeah, he always has a freshly cut and lit cigar, piping away. Again, the most stereotypical fucking sheriff. Am I gonna have to point my goddamn cigar at you one more time, Stubbs?
Here's a tiny toothbrush. Go clean the toilets.
That's exactly what his demerit would be. Go clean the goddamn toilet, Stubbs.
He's not even being demoted. He's just gotta be punished. Popping off.
So now, it's later that night, and everyone who escaped in the van from the rave, even though this is a different day, have met together at the stoner's house to discuss, hey, we're all having weird dreams about a scarred up guy, or at least some of them are. I don't know why the nerd or stoner are there. They must just be like loose friends with the virgin, what have you. But now they're all hanging out talking about, what are we going to do?
Even after that sick burn that the loser dropped on Kelly Rowland.
They're having their, well, yeah, because now she's like, oh, he's all right.
He's
he
got
gets
a
us. Yeah. Maybe he's got a front bone for me.
Shut the fuck up. People in high school are not everybody is a walking fucking stereotype. Not everyone has to be.
Yeah.
You can have hints of it where, oh, I get it. They're kind of like, maybe this way or no, just a walking fucking stereotype.
I'm sorry, I had to pause it again. So the stoner has a copy of High Times with a very neatly rolled bag of weed in it as he's toking from a joint, and then he's clearly reading that, I'm sure. And then you remember I was saying that it was awkward earlier because the sheriff just looked like he was hanging out in the virgin's house.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, the new cop is just hanging out and just somehow got into the basement of this place quietly, and he shows up.
It's just not creepy
To which
abuse of power or anything.
The stoner then is like, oh shit, I better put this out and close up. It's like, dude, you're not fooling anyone. So now they're like, alright, there's clearly something fucky going on because we have Hockey Mask, Jason Voorhees chasing after us for some reason, and we have someone haunting our dreams.
That dream guy.
What do we do? I like how they've all come to this conclusion because of what? Because a couple of them have seen Freddy and they've heard his name. Not even that they are involved somehow, but that somehow it's linked. You know what I mean? They even say, because they explain how they both died. And Laurie's like, Freddy was killed by fire and Jason was killed. Like they know the lore all of a sudden of them or something.
Yeah, well, you better
You better start thinking outside your little box, dude.
Here, take a toke of this. It'll help.
How do you feel about Marley? Alright, Laura, we're gonna keep saving you. You useless bitch. But if we're saving you because you're asleep and Freddy's trying to get you, we get 1 3-second squeeze apiece. That's all I'm saying. Just a little...
Bonk, bonk.
A little honk.
A little honker. A little honker on them thongers.
You know, since you can't contribute anything else, whatever. Oh! Oh!
Her dad was just trying to tongue her mouth. And I don't mean kiss her, I mean tongue her mouth. Now Freddy's going in for the kill.
With the quick darting tongue.
Yeah. So she, in the process of being woken up, because she was screaming, rips Freddy's ear off.
Which instantly turns into maggots when it hits the floor.
For some reason.
So the cop has now snuck them. Tips has now snuck them into...
Oh, what did you just call him?
Tips.
His name's not... Oh. I thought you genuinely thought that was his last name. I'm like, it was Stubbs. Frosted Stubbs! Oh, that should be his name.
Tippy Stubbs.
Tippy Stubbs.
So he has helped them break into... This is the nut house?
Weston Hills Psychiatric for this facility, yes. And they're in, like, the...
Why is every mental hospital either a Hills or a Brook or... I don't know. They all have the same...
Yeah, they all have the same sort of, like, oh, this isn't threatening kind of thing. And now they're in, like, the security office. There's cameras everywhere. There's just random buttons on the wall, you know. And it's the cop, the nerd, and the stoner. And the cop's like, all right, there's nothing here. Let's go. Because they're looking for the drug hypnocil so they won't dream so they can figure out what to do about Freddy. And the stoner, after the cop leaves the room, looks over to the nerd and goes, hey, man, let's take a quick smoke break. And he's like...
Nah, man.
Well, no. He's like, dude, he's a cop. That's not what I would say. I would have been like, dude, we're, like, on the cusp of being murdered by two very, like, dangerous... Why the fuck are you stopping at this moment? Like, I can even understand. You were in your own home earlier. That makes sense.
That, or... I don't know, like if you're in a different car, you're on the way. You're trying to chill the fuck out before you head in and...
Steal some hypnocil.
But even then, I don't think that's where your head would be at.
No. Excuse me, I said smoke break. He said a little J break. Like he's the fucking dude from Big Lebowski or something. Jesus Christ. Mind if I do a J? Oh, by the way, after the stoner said he wanted to take a J break, first of all, he just hangs out in the security office. That no one's gonna come in here, like, I don't know, security.
It's big surveillance.
And starts toking. But what really pisses me off is earlier, after the nerd's like, no, I'm not gonna smoke with you, you dumbass. The nerd takes off with the cop, and he stays in there. He immediately lights up and goes, a lot better. What the fuck are you talking about? Is it the first time you've smoked weed? Would you like to explain what's happening now?
If there were English words for it, what is that, a big caterpillar?
Yeah, it's so Freddy turns into essentially a big kind of weird-looking caterpillar-y centipede-looking thing.
Alice in Wonderland.
Yeah, it's supposed to be representative of the one in Alice in Wonderland because he just has a hookah there and blows a bunch of hookah smoke in his face.
Oh, right.
Radical.
Okay, well now the caterpillar, the massive caterpillar, has squeezed itself down his throat. I guess because he didn't share his weed, and that's rude.
He took off before he could, and now that Freddy Krueger is apparently controlling the stoner, he's emptying out all the hypnocil into the sink. And the cop, who granted is supposed to be kind of a green, new cop, does the dumbest thing possible because Jason shows up, he swipes at the cop moves out of the way, smart move, and then as a result, Jason plunks his machete into whatever security system they have, and immediately starts electrocuting himself. Here's the thing. I've seen people get electrocuted in real life. That's not what that shit looks like. It never looks like that shit.
Like Marv in Home Alone.
Exactly. It's usually a very tensed up thing. Like all of the muscles in their body like tense up, and they might shake a little bit,
Almost
but they
like,
don't like gyrate.
Almost like a tase, like, because it's the same sort of deal. Like,
yeah. And so, well, in this case, the cop then does the dumb thing and, like, to subdue or something Jason, or maybe Jason just touches him, but he doesn't, like, back away or get out of the way. No, or like, hey, let's let this guy get electrocuted and get out of here. He moves towards Jason, the guy who is visibly being electrocuted, and then gets electrocuted and, like, fried to death, basically, even though Jason's fine. Now, Freddy, using the stoner's body, is using the same tranquilizer that was used on the two dudes in the nut house earlier, and putting them in the biggest fucking syringes I've ever seen in my life.
Mobatine. The name of the fucking sedative is Mobatine. Are you kidding me? How fucking lazy can you be?
Mobatine and Hypnocil. I feel like there are certain off-brand medications, sedatives, what have you, that you could use in a film that wouldn't have an issue.
This is like dollar store quality, you know, like if they were making, like the super, like, fifth in line generic of any given product.
The one that's made by people that like, have stock in Walmart kind of thing. And, like, want their Walmart. It's like, you ever go to Walmart and see a very blatant knockoff of a movie that's, like, about to come out in theaters or is in theaters, you know what I'm talking about?
So now, as Freddy the Stoner's sitting here waiting to meet
Jason,
who is really pissed he hasn't been
like, the only thing
properly machete someone in here yet.
He is, but he's killed two people still. And the one was the cop, and he electrocuted him. The other one is what Jason has been doing since he got there, which is literally just knocking down doors. Like, seriously, at least 3 times in this like, I don't know, 3-minute part of the movie, just kicking down doors for no reason. There's a handle there, Jason. So he injects him with the sedative.
Gets a double shot in the neck.
Immediately before getting chopped in half and killing the stoner, but not Freddy.
So, really, the stoner wasn't a big loss.
Oh, the one time you were going to actually use the gun and not just point it at someone, he collapses?
Don't you look like a hero now?
So through a point of dialogue, and the one person that has done nothing in this movie other than scream and run, puts it together that, oh yeah, they're mad at each other. Like, that's what she pieces together here. Yeah, that sounds like a loving mother.
She's clearly the driving force behind him, and she's not intimidating or encouraging, or she's just the worst. I don't know. Maybe it's the fact that Jason doesn't talk, but this rivalry between them, I'm just not feeling. Like, I get it. They're both villains.
They're both classic horror movie villains.
Oh, and Freddy can just spawn new arms. That's neat.
Well, yeah, because he's in his world. He's in the dream world,
and also fresh blades.
And also, everything Freddy has to do has to be, not all the time, but most of the time, obnoxiously turned up to, like, oh, he's crass and he says bitch at the end of every sentence. Jason just cut off both of his arms and then he grew them back and went, oh, good job, like that. You know what I mean? It's not. I don't know. I feel like maybe the original few movies, especially considering that no one really takes...
You know what's scarier than what you can do, Freddy? Your performance.
Well, especially after the first Nightmare on Elm Street, no one took them like as fully serious horror movies. They were always kind of horror comedies that we didn't
which
have
is
to
fine,
take serious.
But
yeah, no, it's...
Unless you do it well, it's not to a good effect. It's just tacky and not scary at all.
Yeah, this crosses over into the tacky. Very, very, like the needle just goes like that.
He seriously just bitch slapped him like 5 or 6 times.
Like, here's the thing. I get where the concept of this movie came from as far as it stands when it comes to that movie nerds were like, all right, You know, it'd be super duper cool if like Jason Voorhees from Friday the 13th and Freddy Krueger from Nightmare on Elm Street were
What
like.
if they met?
What if they?
the universes collided?
What if they like were walking in the street one day, both of them at the same time,
Have you even thought about something like that?
and they ran into each other, just like the movie Crash? It'd be so like
It would be
coincidental.
also scary, but to the second power.
Yeah. And like we were talking about it, how people after this movie came out were like, they should do Michael Myers versus Jason Voorhees. No. That's where this problem came in.
Would have been great for the silent film era.
Yeah. How fucking boring would a movie where Jason Voorhees and Michael Myers stalk each other be? It's literally
Kinda
just.
slowly walking towards each other.
So now Freddy realizes Jason's weakness is water. What a lame weakness for a serial killer, by the way.
I was gonna say.
Someone just takes their you know.
I mean, people got a legitimate reason to be afraid. Not even that no one has a legitimate reason to be afraid of water, but I mean,
Evian in your face! Like, take that, Jason Voorhees.
is that why you have mad BO all the time, Jason?
It'd be great if his like ultimate weakness is just Dasani. Oh, this is terrible!
Just Dasani. Well, don't push him into lake.
I'm melting!
Alright, so Lori's walking through seeing all the kids torture Jason. Which, this also doesn't happen,
They're all just
by
pushing
the
him
way.
around being like, fucking freak!
20 kids have a burlap sack over his head and are just shoving him in between the lot of them. So Lori runs for help. Doesn't approach the two talking camp counselors. Instead goes for the two that are fucking on the camp porch.
Next, like,
The
10
cabin
feet
porch.
10 feet apart from the other camp counselors.
Yeah.
There's a one chick camp counselor who's kind of like splayed out up against the corner of this porch, and then the other guy's just kind of like standing up and just kind of like lazily
Giving her Crystal Rock at Crystal Lake.
And then of course the guy turns into Freddy and he's like, "Oh, I'm crass." So she sees this little kid who's clearly, you know, like just got some
Drowning.
sort of abnormality. You know, he's got some sort of deformity.
It almost looks like some sort of cranial.
Yeah.
Um,
And she sees all these kids
Development
pushing
thing.
him off the dock. She sees them push him off the dock, and he apparently doesn't know how to swim. Shitty mom should have taught him how to swim.
she
And
runs,
she runs
to
over
save
to
him.
save him, and when she pulls him out, sees what he looks like, and goes, "Oh fuck!" and drops him in the lake.
Never mind, I get it.
Fuck that shit. I'm good. I am good.
Oh, I expected the drowning kid to be way cuter.
What do you want me to do? Like, give him mouth or something?
Ew. Tip him on his side.
Yeah, so Jason is spurting water because he's being drowned in his dream. Guess that's how physics work. And they basically tell Kelly Rowland she's got to do it because no one else in the car can do it. It's like her, the nerd, and the ex-boyfriend, and the passed out Jason Voorhees in the passed out version.
Well, yeah, and the nerd says he has asthma, which is the excuse I would have given too. Oh, yeah, girl, get it. I like how it sounded like she was responding to me.
Shut up.
So Kelly Rowland finally gets what she has coming to her.
She gets something gross spit at her face, and then he wakes up. It causes the gun in the nerd's hand to go off, which causes the car. The driver swerves. The
Who just
ex-boyfriend
went
swerves.
flying? Oh.
That was Jason. And so then the car tips over, of course, because they swerved a little bit. And Jason, the door's open, and Jason goes fucking flying as the car's turning over.
Well, and then Freddy, as Jason disappears, 'cause,
From the dream, yeah.
yeah, Freddy goes flying up, like launches himself out of the water to land on the deck to try to kill Lori.
Like Superman. So why is Camp Crystal Lake, because there's like a sign for it a few miles away, why is it still an operating camp if there's
I
been
was
like
gonna
continued
say.
murders over the decades? Feel like that would be
Seems
an
like that
operation that would
wouldn't
get
be a
shut
thing.
down, yeah.
Or at least, renamed at least.
Yeah.
A lot of times they'll just try, if
The-
tragedy
the-
happens somewhere, they'll try to rebrand it a little
The
bit.
Jason Voorhees Memorial Camp, yeah. Just to keep him away. Oh fuck, everyone's gonna know I'm coming now. God damn it.
Alright, so now Lori, in her dream, oh, she's
Is seeing what really happens, and this is like not the climax of the movie, but the climax for her tits role in the movie. is this next like 10 minutes because
Yeah.
Freddy like unbuttons her buttons on her shirt with his finger. He's like about to finger her with one of his little knives.
He's like, oh, now that I know it was you, this psycho asshole going around killing everybody that killed my mom, and not my dad, who I've loved and lived with my entire life, and have no reason to believe he would do something like that, except for my nutbag boyfriend who just broke out of an insane asylum, told me so. Oh, now that I know this is the case, maybe I can drop some lady balls. Congratulations, it took you long enough. Waste of space.
After multiple people have been murdered. Now he's marking up her tits!
Yeah, go display these.
I feel like we haven't brought quite enough attention to her tits. Maybe we should put some fake blood on it.
Let's be honest, if he didn't do this, some girl she would end up getting in a fight with in high school would probably do it to her later.
That's true. And then Jason takes a swing at the ex-boyfriend, clips him a little bit. They're in one of the houses, or one of the buildings from Camp Crystal Lake. And then now it's because someone knocked a gas... Now that a gas can got knocked over, the place is on fire. And
why is she asleep?
because she took some kind of sedative to bring him into the real life, but it's not, the timer didn't work because they flipped the car and a bunch of other stuff, and she's just like, I guess it didn't go according to plan. So now Freddy's about to get his.
This
Now the
patriotic
nerd
shit.
is running at him with an American flag and stabbing Jason over and over again.
And Jason's like, kind of bats him away like he's a fly. Like,
And he knocks him.
seriously?
Well, and he knocks him into a like some kind of thing, some sharp thing sticking off the wall, and it clearly gets him in the back, like around the ribs a little bit, because there's blood dripping off of it. And I'm just gonna spoil it. That's how that dude dies. And here's why I'm mad: is he doesn't die like because it tears open or something fucked up. No, he gets like a wound in his back. Kelly Rowland gets him to a tree and like leans him up against the tree, and he's like, "Oh, go get help."
and then just
bleeds out. Yeah, just very slowly. Just, I guess I'm done.
That bitch would die like a bitch.
My part of the movie's over with. Their friends are still in the burning building with the murderer, including one of their friends who's passed out, and one of their friends who's also wounded. But Kelly Rowland and the other dude just decide, fuck it, we're out of here. So now Jason's like, hey, oh yeah, you were the guy who was fucking with me, right? So now that he's in the real world and they're surrounded by fire, it's a fire death match apparently. Now they're about to have the epic finale where they fight.
It's really cool. Oh,
Now,
this is the part where Kelly gets a little sassy. She decides she's going to, I guess as a distraction measure, taunt Freddy with what they're trying to make edgy high school, like, snaps, but
yeah,
it's bad.
well, and, Freddy, I just want to say, says, and I get it, he's making the crass joke. He says a pretty racist line here because she interrupts him and he says something about, like, how nice dark meat. Like, alright, Freddy, why don't you cool the racist brakes a little bit?
We get it. You're not a good guy. You don't have to chuck some casual racism into the mix to drive your point home.
I also want to know, Robert Englund, who plays Freddy Krueger, this was the last time he played him. I can fucking see why.
She mocked him for wearing a sweater.
You're not even scary.
What's with the blood bags? You trying to compensate for something? Maybe coming up a little short there between the legs?
So she made a sweater joke and a small dick joke.
I mean, you got these cheesy wings.
And called his knives butter knives.
Jason has got this big old thing.
She's about to learn how big his big old thing is. Kelly Rowland has
Freddy with the assist.
maybe my favorite death in this movie just because of how abrupt it is. Jason takes, because like she's sort of backing away from Freddy as she's teasing him, and then as she's talking about Jason, Freddy's like, like behind you, dumbass. And she turns around and Jason's directly behind her, takes one big swipe with his machete. Which here's an issue with it. did the same thing to the stoner guy and literally cut him
Cut
in
him in
half.
half right there. This launches
She
her.
goes fucking flying, like
And
she just
hits
got
a
shot
tree.
out of a cannon and hits a tree as hard as she possibly can, and then collapses. It's a great shot. I'll say that. Here's where the blood really starts playing effect. When Freddy and Jason at the end start going after each other, blood just starts coming out for no fucking reason. Like one of them will sneeze and a bunch of blood will just shoot out or some shit.
Well, yeah, and then.
Oh, paper cut.
Now, Will and the Virgin decide they're gonna make a grand escape in a rickety little paddle boat. I realize Jason can't effectively get to them from there, but I don't know why they think this slow-moving boat that they have to paddle themselves is going to be their best shot at getting away
Well,
quickly.
and she makes this huge effort to get away, and then she's like, "No, I can't. I'm not leaving until I see Freddy die." Really? Because you looked like you were leaving several times.
Remember
before
my
this.
mom?
He killed her. So Jason very slowly and awkwardly stands up after getting knocked like 40 feet away into sort of like this construction zone. And this is my sister's favorite part because Freddy says, he says, "Hey, asshole," not like, you know, like some like murderous, "You fucking ass." No.
No, like somebody just knocked down in a bar fight.
Like someone that just cut him off in traffic. "Hey, asshole! What was that?"
Guinness is for pussy.
Come on, man. Knocks a bunch of metal poles that all fly down like arrows.
I don't
Knock
understand why
into
he
him.
wouldn't move.
Because he's Jason, and he goes very slowly, apparently.
He's like, I'm gonna kill you, but
Jason never picked
I'm
up
gonna
cardio
take
in
my
life.
time. You know, I'm not a speedy guy.
And then he keeps getting knocked around by some kind of pendulum thing. I don't know. Blood's just pouring out for no reason. Again, spurting out like it's a ketchup bottle.
Seems like if anything, these two could join forces and probably get more done.
Well, that's what they're doing at the beginning of the movie, just one of them doesn't know it. Freddy, like an idiot, I get it. It's like it's his first time in the real world. Gets knocked off of this structure and gets like hung up on like a rope or something. Like it's a fucking comedy movie. What the fuck? Like it's a Fairley Brothers movie. Like
Someone get me down from
whoa,
here.
like he's fucking Mr. Magoo or something.
Don't you look silly now?
It's like, oh, well, this, you know, in concept, this looked a lot easier, but now that I'm hanging upside down, being drug
I'm
around.
not quite the Spider-Man I thought I was. Turns out I'm just good with these finger knives.
So Freddy and Jason get knocked over to the dock by a cart, I think. And again, like probably at least 80 feet away from where they were. So now Jason's getting in some pretty substantial swipes at Freddy, who's now also squirting blood.
He's not squirting blood. He's spraying blood.
That's true.
It doesn't make any goddamn sense.
Speaking of spraying, now Will and Lori,
What is that, barbicide? Ought to be barbicide.
they're taking gasoline and soaking the dock so they can burn them both down, basically. Freddy swipes off Jason's fingers and then grabs his machete. Jason seems pretty indifferent to it. Now he's taking swipes at him.
Now, he's gotta... I don't know, he's gotta be careful, because I don't know how well he can swing a machete with his knife hand. I hope he's good with his left hand.
That's what I'm saying. It's not. That's why he's not using the knife hand. But now he's got two weapons, so I don't know why he's just going back and forth. Oh, there you go.
It's not even spatter, it's
Spray.
spray. Like if Febreze made
Like
blood.
it's like the scenes in the Rocky movies when he's getting punched and sweat's flying off his face at the camera. It's like that.
It's like a mist.
but in blood. Yeah.
Here comes the Virgin.
Here comes-
Tits a-flailing
Big titty.
with two
Just like seriously, just
flaming torches.
Let me bounce as much as I can.
I'm blood covered now, but look how dramatic.
Running with the two torches to burn him down.
She's been a church mouse the whole goddamn movie, and all of a sudden,
A church mouse. So then Jason uses his nub now. Well, I guess technically. I think he has a thumb still, but his other fingers are gone. He uses that and just punches inside of Freddy's gut, and he's like, well, Guess I'm doing this.
I got your heart.
I got your heart. Just my one thumb, but I got it.
Yeah, she now throws another flaming stick right by the propane tanks.
As you do.
Yeah.
Smart thinking, probably.
Well-
Blowing them up is gonna do it.
Well, and I feel like they haven't made a very solid exit strategy. Like they're hanging around a little too long.
Oh yeah, then
These two aren't even going after you right now. They're going after each other.
yeah, they're
Put
not
some
even.
distance between what you just did.
They're
and
not
what's
even
going
really
on.
fighting now. Jason cuts off Freddy's knife hand. Freddy stabs Jason with his machete. Jason stabs Freddy with his knife hand.
Lots of stabbing.
Lots of stabbing going on and lots of blood. The blast blows Freddy and Jason flame into the lake.
Directly into the water.
Yeah. And I think they get... Which, again, it doesn't make any sense. Now they're on the dock for some reason, right?
How is there a dock left?
Well, there's loose flames on the dock.
Yeah, so now it literally looks like hell.
Like a 1990s
A
concept
literal
of hell.
fiery lake.
Even though they lit the dock on fire, it's just like patches of fire around it.
In the water.
Hey, Lori and Will are wet. No way.
Oh no, Lori's got a white, wet shirt on with her tits out. Are you sure?
And now, even though she was so ready to kill Freddy, now she's now she's terrified again.
Wouldn't it be funnier if they came up and he was wearing her shirt and she was wearing his?
That'd be awkward.
And his tits were out.
Jason Ritter would look so hot.
Jason Titter.
So now, you can't see it because you can't tell at first, but it looks like Jason's coming back with a machete. And it's not. It's the one-armed Freddy. That rhymed. So, hey, amidst our let's just say we took a break. Our lighting got all fucked up, so sorry about that, but the last bit of this review is going to be with some fucked up, very, very bright lighting. So,
Now you won't be able to see us as clearly in the daylight.
oh, damn it.
Damn you, summer sun.
Damn you, Summerson.
Alright, it's going down.
For real. As Flowrider would say.
Yeah.
Freddy's about to chop them down with Jason's machete, one-armed.
There's one arm.
And he, right before he can say, "You bitch," his own severed hand, bow, goes flying through him. And then Jason just flops in the water like, I guess I'm done. She's turning around on him.
And decapitates him in almost a worse decapitation than the guy's dad earlier. Seriously.
Just flies off.
Fountain of blood. Comical fountain of blood.
Like I said, if
So-
you've ever seen Kill Bill,
His little bloody severed head just kind of rolls into the lake. That lake's not so crystal anymore. Oh,
no,
here
it's
she
a
is.
crimson lake now.
Here she is, covered in...
Covered in blood, looking at Jason Voorhees, and he literally kind of gives her like a, yeah, thanks, man. He's like, hey, thanks for not saving me in my dream because I was an ugly child.
Yeah.
You dick.
You're welcome, by the way.
That whole hand through the chest thing, that was my idea. See, now this is what pisses me off. Immediately after this, it cuts to a shot. It's a beautiful shot. It's the best shot in the film. It's just hovering over the lake. There's some fog. It almost looks like natural, genuine fog, not like movie-produced fog. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like on a foggy
very
morning.
picturesque.
And so what pisses me off about it is I know that they know how to do this. They know how to, like... They know how to make good productions. They just choose not to, is what pisses me off. They have the money,
And
the
they
funds,
say-
the people.
They save that for the end for you. Look, we know what we're doing. We could have been doing this the whole time. And out pops your boy.
Jason Voorhees rising out, because that's what he does. He comes back to life and...
Moving as slow as ever. Moving slow even in slow motion, which is impressive.
Yeah. He has machete in one hand. I don't know
What's
how
in
he's
his other
gripping...
hand?
I don't know how he's gripping either one of those things with no fingers, but... And in his other hand, he has, Freddy's head. His severed head has like
little
a...
Freddy heady.
And Freddy gives the camera, rather, a little wink. Which means...
With his cynical, crackhead asshole laugh to close out the film.
and a generic 2003 rock song, probably by like Under Oath or something.
Under Oath wouldn't have any part of this.
I know. What am I talking about? Under Oath wouldn't take part in this shit. So that was Freddy vs. Jason.
Were you guys scared?
I just feel bummed. I just feel bummed out. Like we always say, we're always open to suggestions. You guys can hit us up on our Facebook page. That's at JTray, the letter N, A Tray. You can also reach us at our Twitter account. That's at JTray_A-Tray. And like I said, we're always looking for ideas. We're always looking for, if you guys have any shitty Christian films in particular, we're not dry or anything. We're looking.
We're always looking to welcome more to the family.
Yeah, we've been looking at a few things, so definitely let us know. And as I said before, mashing up God's Not Dead 1 and 2 for a Crunk review will be our next project. So strap
That
in for
holy
that.
abomination is on the way. Get ready. Prepare thyself.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I just keep
You better
thinking
go on
about
a bad movie fast.
I just keep thinking about how we're gonna have to watch God's Not Dead 2 and 3 again, and bums
is
me
what it
out.
is.
So we're doing this for you guys. So hit us up, like, share, subscribe, all that bullshit. For J Tray and A Tray, I'm J Tray.
Hey Trey.
Peace out, guys.
See you guys.